Hey everyone, Cutting Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. It's about midnight here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, August 6th, 2020. And I wanted to go through some information, like what Niels Melzer has reported to the Human Rights Council, the 43rd session, so we can kind of get an overview of what he already knew, and then it's going to be mixed with our testimonies, right? So that he can report in the general session of the UN in October. Also, kind of wanted to show you guys something really funky about the explosion in Beirut. To me, it looked like welcome if you're in chat. I just wanted to go through some information. I just woke up I think 2 hours ago. I'm feeling really thrashed from the targeting, just really thrashed. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says, hi, Kyle. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? I'm getting thrashed. But I'm taking this gabapentin, which is it's at least cutting off some of the nervous system pain, and it feels like it's cutting off some of the injected thought, like all the time, injected emotion and thought, 24 hours a day, nonstop, nonstop. It seems like it's like cutting my nervous system off from everything. So I still hear the V2K. Every once in a while something will kind of come in, but it bounce off, like some kind of like injected thought or something like that. So it's okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there by a thin thread, and the world's going to pot. Hey, Arachno Nixon. Arachno Nixon says, hey, Preston. Hey, Flat Earth Agency. Arachno Nixon said the second bigger explosion looked like a hydrogen bomb. Yeah, it looked like there was some kind of fission or fusion. It looked like there was, because that it had that vapor coming out. It looked like fission. So you're right. But they said it was ammonia nitrate. They said it was some kind of fertilizer, and that the people who were checking it out in Beirut said they knew who did it, and they knew it was some kind of fertilizer. But I'm not so sure, and I'm kind of even questioning. My first thoughts were this: it was either America or Israel. Right when I saw it, right when I saw it, so this is either America or Israel. Doing something. But I want to show y'all something really weird about it that maybe some of y'all have already seen. Yeah, Flat Earth Space Agency says that explosion was insane. It was really bad. It's really bad, and it's kind of like this red flag that things are getting really out of control. We already knew that, but when bombs start going off in places, like huge bombs, it's scary. The times that we live in. Hey, Gloria. Gloria says, hi, Kyle. Good to see you tonight. Yeah, it's great to see you guys. I've just been really getting flogged by the targeting. I want to come on. I have a lot of information, but just not a lot of energy, But I have some energy now. It seems like the gabapentin's kind of helping me. It's going to help me too, because like I get on the live streams or videos. I guess shorter videos, it's not as bad, but I get on the live streams, and it's just my attackers are just playing with my brain. They're doing the V2K, and then like I'll be trying to think of something I want to say, and they'll go, boop, that's gone. When I was talking to my psychiatrist, they were just erasing things that I wanted to say to her. It was spectacular what they did. It was spectacular in a bad way, how they prepared for that appointment to try and make me look the craziest they could make me look. I mean, and that night they were preparing. They were stimulating certain parts of my vagus nerve to get ready for that moment when I like just met her. And then it was like, boom, they did remote neural manipulation and then stimulated the vagus nerve, and I was like, I couldn't even talk, and I had the stupid mask on, so I couldn't breathe. But it was like what they were doing was just locking me up in a fight or flight that worse than I've ever felt before. It took a couple of minutes to fade off, but it was so bad. Like right when I went into the psychiatrist, like the whole office, like the whole medical office, there was a lady, and she was like, do you have an appointment? Like freaking out. Like they're freaking out whenever you go into any kind of medical buildings or anything. It's like, are you supposed to be here? Do you have an appointment? And then she had this, this little temperature taker that they do on the forehead, right? And I've been sitting in my car like a hot car for like 20 minutes waiting for my appointment. And I was like, dude, she's going to get a temperature off of me. She's going to get it and I'm going to be put into quarantine, or who knows, some men in white coats may come out, or men in hazmat suits may come out and just take me away. I mean, I'm wondering if it's going to get that way here. It's just, it's way out of control. Arachno Nixon says, compare it to old footage of the Los Alamos detonations. It's definitely not a conventional explosion. Yeah, because it had the rings, the vapor rings that come out. So it was some type of fission explosion. But they said fertilizer. There's no way it could be a fertilizer. It said ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate, a fertilizer explosion would have been like one that you see kind of like a movie where it's like like orange and stuff like that. But it wouldn't have that fission, that ring of vapor. Yeah, I totally agree. Not a conventional explosion. And I even question if it was materials that were detonated by, and I have to ask this because directed energy is being used and abused all over the world all the time. Did they put materials in places and then just hit them with directed energy and then create whatever effect that they want? I'm kind of wondering on that. Yeah, fission. Arachnonic said, yeah, fission. I was saying fusion, but fission, like a hydrogen. Like a hydrogen bomb, Hey, Michael, how are you guys doing tonight? How are y'all holding up? Seems like my attackers are using all the chaos of what's going on in the world and my family and the CV virus to make my brutal torture worse, and to try new things with my brain. Things that they were kind of like holding back on. It seems like they're using this time, and it's a stressful time, so there's a lot of stress to deal with, but it seems like they're trying a lot of new stuff. Yeah, Gloria says, I believe it was due. I think it has something to do with that. It's not like they just hit that spot without anything in it, right? It's not like they just hit it. They do that to create fires, but like in this circumstance, did they put something there? Did they put some kind of hydrogen mixed with something, and then get an exact frequency or an exact laser to set that off like that? That's what I was wondering too. But it's already like, oh yeah, fertilizer, yeah, we know who did it, blah blah blah. But let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys. I don't know if everybody's seen this, which is super weird. Yeah, arachnonics and fertilizer, shaking my head, no freaking way. And we're gonna see. Well, we've already seen a lot of that stuff where it's like something happens and then they say, oh, it was just this, and it's insane, and everybody knows it's a lie, and this is just another one. Hey, Barefoot Sungazer, how have you been doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Barefoot Sungazer says, hey, family. What's up, fam? Let's watch James Munder's video on it. I love James Munder. James Munder kind of he makes me laugh and stuff in these horrible times. Swag Astronomer says, any tips on how to pass the time? With me, it's like this unhealthy thing. I play video games, and these days there's video games that are so long. Like, if you just play the main story, it takes a couple of days, but then you can do other side missions that can take you a long time, because it's like doing a certain thing like 1,000 times to get a trophy. And I've started to do that because I have nothing to do. It's like I'm going to start working out and stuff, but I'm in this phase where I'm just like, I got to find something to make this better. I got to get the Neurontin. That is making me feel better. I just hope, some people were saying that it causes depression and things like that. I've taken it before, but I'm taking lorazepam and attackers kind of will make that worse, the side effect from the Neurontin. But the big stuff, my nervous system just going, you know, just very severe stuff seems to be cut off. So it seems like there's nothing that's perfect. There's things that you do and it's going to make this feel better, but then it's going to make this a little bit worse, right? It seems like there's no perfect. You got to try and make that perfect combination of things that make you feel better, you know. And I told my psychiatrist about the kratom. I was just way too honest. I don't know why I was way too honest. And I said, yeah, I'm taking the kratom. And she was like, freak, how much do you take? Is it in how much every day? And I was like, I take like 3 when I can't sleep. And usually that's like once a week. And because she was freaking out. I was like, I'm not going to tell her I take it every day. So apparently health workers have been taught to just like kratom is this evil thing, is this very unhealthy thing. If I was thinking, like, it's hard to think, you know, think on the fly when my brain's been so microwaved and churned up. I would have just not even said anything about that, right? Old Kyle would have bypassed that. I did. I was a little bit strategic when I was talking to him, especially the manager guy there. Like the head of the psychiatric unit, I was very careful with him. Didn't say anything about the V2K. He asked me about these things, and I said, well, it's healthy frequencies. You know, just because your phone puts out non-ionized and microwave radiation and your computer puts it out, and I didn't even mention being hit with directed energy to him, but I was talking to her about it. But I was like staying away from that. But the thing is, like, he was asking about my history, like like school, like high school, elementary school, high school, college, what I did after college, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, I went to Sacred Heart Elementary School. Then I went to Catholic High School. Then I went to University of Texas. Then when I got out of University of Texas, I worked at Dell for 6 years, and I was telling them what I did. And what we did is we did sales and customer service. We'd put these CAM units together. They were like these units where you do order processing, customer service, sales, like all these different things, right? And then they eventually sent those CAM units over to India because they could pay the people in India less. So we were like training people in India, and it was like putting together some pretty complicated stuff. And I could see in his head that either he already knew that these projects existed or he was confused. It was a confusion thing, like, how is this guy, you know, how did he do all this complicated, successful stuff? How did he finish school and everything? And he's talking about, you know, directed energy weapons. Because, I mean, he knew about me from before this appointment. Because I've had like 3 other psychiatrists there. I don't know. I don't know if those people at the heads of those psychiatric units know about this stuff. It's so prevalent. And I wouldn't recommend all targeted individuals go and see psychiatrists because there is a danger there. But my point of that last video I made is, like, with this UN thing, with them, they're going to declare that this is happening. They're going to declare, and I want to show you this part where Niels Melzer did a report at the Human Rights Council in March 2020, neuro-weapons and new technologies that are torturing people and doing, you know, psychic driving stuff is mentioned, right? So it's like the cat's out of the bag. You know, the cat's out of the bag. We've already got positive stuff that's coming out of the UN. This is hard. This is where I pinned my Q-Wave defenders to my shirt, and it just rips it up. Hey, Flat Earth Space Agency. Hey, Zahuman Shazirman. Zahuman Shazirman said, do you think Israel attacked with a hydrogen bomb? I don't know. My first thoughts were America's doing something or Israel's doing something. You know, they're testing something out. I was like, they're testing something out. Like, it's not just random terrorists in Beirut. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Tanya said they said a weapon, Kyle. Like they said it was a fertilizer bomb. So, or I'm not sure if you're talking about with my psychiatrist or the bomb. I don't think you can even say bomb on YouTube. I think it's like a big no-no. There's like a lot of words you can't. I don't even think you could say like attacked or killed or bomb. Karen, hey, Karen Rose. Hey, Karen, are you the Karen Rose that I know? Karen says, I'm tired of the lockdown. Anyone else? Yeah, I still go out. I still go. I went to the psychiatrist. I just go out. Like I don't know if we're on lockdown or anything. I go out, but I do wear the mask. I wear the mask because I can be fined $50 if I'm not wearing it in my apartment complex. I couldn't even go to the appointment if I wasn't wearing the mask. But I'll tell you this, and I do, you know, I hope people are not wearing it and fighting that, but it's just not a battle I can fight right now. I've got to talk about, you know, us being targeted by directed energy weapons. It's just not something I can get into with people. Now I have thought about, you know, doing the wearing the mask and writing something on it, maybe wearing a mask and saying masks are stupid, just simple things like that. Or I was going to maybe get the Deadpool mask, just a whole mask, like, or a Spider-Man mask where it's covering my head, to overdo it and make fun of this stuff. But no, I have to wear it to do anything. But I just go, like, I think even if they declared a lockdown where you could, I guess if you'd get arrested going out, I wouldn't. Gloria says they think we're stupid. They said it was either fertilizer or a fireworks company. Give me a break already. Yeah. They probably had fireworks going off at the same time, and then they're just like, yeah, that was firework. Yeah, with that huge ring and mushroom cloud, there's no fireworks that can do that. Yeah, Hash 74 says it's been getting really bad lately. It's been getting over the line bad. It's just been getting, it's like we need to prepare. Everybody needs to prepare. And I'm just thinking, what I'm thinking is like, we've got to, this UN thing, we've got to use it. We've got to see where this goes so we can stop the intense. I mean, I think this technology, they're bringing it up to the surface. And because it's a complicated thing, you got all this targeting going on under the surface, right, to millions of people. You got all these crises on top, right? They want to get this kind of technology all on the top. They want to, what does Robert Duncan say? I can't remember the word for it, but basically upscale, scale up the technology so everybody can be hooked in. And so right now we've got this going on. The bottom's coming up to it's bubbling up to the top, right? But it's still hidden. It's still intense. And it's probably becoming more intense. My targeting is more intense because my attackers probably know it's getting there. It's getting there, and then it comes to the surface. That changes everything for us. When it's going to be bad for the world. Everything that's going on is going to be bad for the world. But this is happening where it's coming into the light, and the technology is being rolled out to the public, and they can't carry out intense 24-hour-a-day rapes and torture and mind control when it's on the surface, right? So what's in my head and what I want to do is quicken this coming to the surface and getting out. Everything that's happening is really bad for the world. This technology being scaled up for everyone is terrifying. It's a terrifying horror. Everything that's happening in society is a terrifying horror. But I'm just like, if we can get out of the intense torture, then we can think better, we can feel better, we can be on our toes and be able to get the resources we need and prepare better for what's coming for everybody. So that's kind of what I'm zoning in on. I'll talk about all the other stuff, but talking about like all the other bad stuff, it's just like you're reporting on it. There's nothing we can really do right now. It's like, I guess, people are protesting about the mask. People who are protesting in Germany, I guess that's the best thing to do. It will create change, and they'll kind of fall back and say, okay, we don't have to wear masks and stuff like that. That will happen. But I see everything that's going on in all the different countries. If you look at our targeting and how it was, okay, at the first couple of months you were fighting, right? Okay, let me just speak for me. I was like, oh yeah, dude, I can do this. I'm looking at something defensive every day. I'm working on this every day. Year 7 or 8 or whatever, right? Um, way in, you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And then you're just trying to normalize, you're trying to keep living, while being murdered. And that's what they're doing with all of these, with the pandemic, with the riots that are burning buildings, with everything that's coming. And it's like they have to blow up one bomb in Beirut. It scares everybody in the world, right? So mainstream media and social media are used as these mirrors of fear, right? So anything bad that's happening, it's mirroring out. People are getting more afraid and more low frequency. And then they can put out worse stuff and they can feed on us. They can feed on that fear and just keep. I forgot what my point was there. But it's like it's going to be a long road where people are finding. We're going to get some victories, right? People protesting are going to get some people reopening up their shops, like those guys who have the guys who have the workout place in New Jersey. They busted down their doors. They may be arrested or something, but they're going to be heroes, man. People are going to get around them and say, lawyers are going to help them. Maybe there will be some pushback. They'll be able to go back to work, other business. There will be a lot of victories against us, but then it's just going to be like throughout the years. They're going to keep coming with different stuff to wear everybody down. We see it in a microcosm in our targeting, or at least I do. I'm sure a lot of you guys see it too. Yeah, hey Lizzie, you got to do the cleansing stuff. You got to do the spirulina, chlorella, the bentonite clay. You're getting poisoned right now. I'm so sorry. Yeah, my brain is just mush. My brain is mush and unorganized. Yeah, I think we're all getting it. It could be a signal that we're getting there where they might not, because you think about this, guys. Okay, the UN. So the UN declares that this is happening, right? They've already declared it, but they're going to declare it in a bigger way in October. And they're like, cyber torture exists. They're using neurotechnologies to hurt people and torture them. We need to make resolutions. Now, all of the military industrial complexes, we're doing this experimentation saying we can experiment on anyone in our country as long as it has to do with national security, right? And they twist it so learning about the brain and doing false flags, that's national security, right? Inversion. It might change something with them being able to just do it like they're doing it. I'm not sure. It's a bunch of complicated stuff, but there can be changes right off the bat. And if there aren't, there's going to be investigations. And then like what I was talking about on the last video, we have it in writing, and we need to collect everything that Niels Melzer said, everything that's said at the UN. You go into a doctor and you say, I'm being cyber tortured. The UN has declared it. They cannot throw you into a mental institution. We have the golden armor, right? We have the armor of God, and God's with the armor of God is leading us to these things that can armor us up, right? In very dark times. We're in Mordor, but we'll have that armor from just to get the evidence of what the UN has said. Put it in their face. It was totally different when I told my psychiatrist, yeah, the UN is declaring cyber torture. What's happening to me in October? Niels Melzer. She goes, oh, Niels Melzer, and she wrote it down. General Session UN. It was completely different. Everything changed from, like, she wasn't able to say like, well, with your delusions, blah blah blah. It was like, well, I don't know what to do about it. I'm going to help you with your depression and anxiety. All right, changed everything with that. They can't say anything. You just say, I am being cyber tortured. The UN has declared it and is talking about it and creating resolutions and investigative teams. That's what's happening to me. And here you go. Here's the evidence. And that's it. They can't do anything. The UN has declared it. Let's watch this James Munder video. Karen Rose says, I'm being cooked. Well done. Like active denial with shriveled skin. Yeah. They just cook my head a lot. They do. They shoot my groin to just do everything. It's like we're pieces of meat that they're just working on. It's like, man, I know everybody's hurting really bad. I think that near helmet might be something good, but if you're getting the body attacks, like grounding, it puts your skin in a less conductive state. So if you're getting the external hits, it's like your skin's not responding the same. It's not accepting the directed energy. So grounding is really good for that. I'm gonna think of some better stuff for us. There's one thing that if you're getting poisoned and gassed, I don't know what to do about that. Like I would say collect it. Try and find a lab or something that you know isn't corrupt, and collect some of those gases. But I kind of think that some people may be getting gas, but the things that my attackers do to me, it's the remote neural manipulation. They can make me smell perfumes. They can make me smell sewage. They've made me think that I'm being gassed a lot. And I'm not saying that that's what's happening to you, Lizzie. Yeah, Lizzie says, "Hi, Kyle. I'm sorry you are getting tortured in a prisoner that cannot even leave my home. Hope and pray that everyone is getting along fine. Have a great night, Lizzie. You too. You're not gonna stick around? I've got some pretty good information that can help you. Oh, you're just saying have a great night. I got you." Tanya says, "Kyle, they want all TIs to be on meds, to be controlled, and to be in our homes all the time." Yeah. The thing with me, I understand. I got some dislikes on that video. I got like 7 dislikes or something like that. And I understand. I get it. And I knew I was going to get some dislikes, but it got to a certain point where it's like my brain can't think. Like it's so dangerous. The way that they're stimulating my vagus nerve like rips up my cheek, and I'm not even sure if I have an implant in this in my sinus cavity. It's so bad I can barely talk sometimes. So I had to find something that could cut the nervous system off, that could tone it down, or I won't be able to move forward. So I understand there, but what the smart thing to do is don't take a bunch of medications. If you get into a hard position, like I'm talking about, like I can't take this anymore. My brain is going to explode, or something bad's going to happen. Like my brain will go crazy to where it's like it's organically getting damaged, and then I won't be, I can't come back from it. So only in emergency situations was I like, well, I'll take a very mild, nervous system. What would you call gabapentin? It's just like a nervous system modifier where it's like taking toning your nervous system down. And I was like, I've got it. I have to. I won't be able to do anything. Yeah, Matthew Hill says benzo addiction can kill the withdrawal. Is lethal. Yeah, with the lorazepam, I take 0.5, like just when it's really bad, and I'm very, very careful about that. It's a tough thing if you do have it. I have an addictive personality, but with Ativan, it's like I don't take too much, because if I do take too much, it just makes me really sleepy, and I can't do anything. So there's no point in taking a whole lot. Kratom, I take like 4 in the morning, 4 in the middle of the day, 4 at night. It's gotten a little bit too much. I may try and get off the kratom with taking the gabapentin in the Ativan. 0.5 Ativan, 300 milligrams of gabapentin in the morning, and then I see if I feel good at night. And it just like I'm kind of back to myself. It's just like it got to a point where I was like, just constant fire, because they're stimulating my vagus nerve while doing remote neural manipulation, and your vagus nerve like controls your parasympathetic nervous system, but whether you're calm or not. So it can really mess you up. I'll be careful though, and I understand a lot of people disagree, and they're like, just stay away from any kind of meds. But there are some of these concoctions, you know, some things that if they're mild enough and you're hurting, and it's like you, and I'm not, this isn't me going, hey, everybody take the, it's just, I'm doing this and telling y'all what's going on, right? I don't want anybody to think that I'm like, go to a psychiatrist and be put on medications, you know, because in certain places like here, it's a teaching hospital. It's an okay, safe situation where I feel safe with her. She's just going to help me with some mild stuff. But you know, if you're in like Oregon or something, which is like Satan's playground, you go to a psychiatrist, they literally might be like an MK Ultra psychiatrist. They may be working with this program to put you on meds that work with the neuro-weapons. That exists. But in this case, it's safe, and I try and stay with mild stuff, you know, because I can't. I mean, I can't do anything if I don't. So it's kind of like that. Dude, you're getting a Dell, Flat Earth Space Agency. I worked at Dell for 6 years. It was awesome. I was really good at my job too. I got workplace mobbed. I had a surgery. Like I had like, okay, for like 5 of the years, I guess it was like 5 or 6 years I worked there. 5 of the years I was like, no, golden boy, man, working on the cam. I was like the lead of these cam systems where we would do customer service and sales together, or customer service and order processing. Brand new. We were inventing these at Dell. And I was like leading these groups for 5 years. Then, you know, and I was being gang stalked through that, but I didn't know, but not workplace mob. I was the golden boy at work. And then I had this huge surgery. Like I had this big surgery. I had to get a foot of colon taken out. And it was really weird because we separated the colon, and, you know, it was supposed to get better because there's no food going through it. But it was the targeting. They were targeting. I think they may have put something in that foot of colon where it couldn't heal up. So I got that foot of colon out, and it was cutting open my stomach, right? Like, whoosh, 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 like 3 cuts because they had to pull the colon out of my, like out the front and the small intestines. And so, I mean, when I went back to work, I had to immediately get back to work. Like I had maybe a month off or something like that. I had a little bit of time off, but when I got back to work, I had to take painkillers. My stomach, just all those muscles had to heal. And so I guess what happened is that maybe I was already targeted, and people were like, oh, he's a drug addict or something. Because I'd take like a half of a hydrocodone in the morning so I could do my work, and then maybe one in the middle of the day, and then at night, you know. But I'd go into the bathroom to take one, and I think people thought I was going into the bathroom to take drugs, and the workplace mobbing kind of started there. It was really weird. People were putting like white stuff on my chair. They were stomping when they came by. So it's like I don't know when did the targeting. I know the targeting didn't come from the workplace mobbing, but it was like mixed in. The mobbing was gang stalking, and it was for a year. For like a year or something, it was like a horror show. I hated going into work. I didn't feel comfortable. I ended up trying to work from home, like with my manager, but she was, and then they started trying to just get me out of there, right? They were like trying to get me out of there because I was working from home, and like everybody didn't like me and stuff like that. It was hard. It went from golden boy from 5 years to like everybody freaking hated me because I was trying to get through my medical issues. It kind of put this thing in my head where I was like, if you're like sick and weak, people like will kill you to get you out of their environments. It's very scary. You know, I've gotten past that, right? And we're all targeted individuals. We're not weak. We're not weak, right? We're in a weakened state. We're not weak people, but we can get into a weakened place when you got mind control going on, you got physical nerve pain, you got external being fired on. You're in a weakened state. You're in a weakened position, but you're certainly not a weak person, right? But it's like, what does the world see? The world that's not going through this and everything, they're just like, oh man, crazy person, they're weak and blah, because they have no idea what you're going up against. Really kind of screwed me up in the head of like, wow, somebody can be attacking you, you know, on the down low, taking you out, and then everybody, like your community and everybody else is just like, oh man, that person's just going crazy. there's nothing going on with them, you know, because people like to simplify others. One of my friends said this, and he was kind of right. He said, "You're only a complication unto yourself." And it was a very wise thing. You think that everything's all complicated and how people see you is complicated, but people, you know, they sum you up quick because they're dealing with them as a complication. I don't know if you guys understand that, but you're only a complication on yourself. Karen Rose says, I'm so sensitive to chemicals like glycosaphates that can only eat 4 things. I think that I'm allergic to wheat, not wheat. What's the stuff in white bread? Like, because people with celiac disease are really sensitive. I don't have celiac disease, I have Crohn's, but what is it? It's like a certain type of gluten. Like I think I'm allergic to gluten. Hey, Alan, legalize weed. Alan says, hi, Kyle, Tanya, hey, Target, individual family. I just hope they legalize. You talking about weed? I hope they legalize weed everywhere. Hey, what's up, Drunken Ninja? Yeah, Elizabeth Lewis says, much prayers, much love and prayers to all, most definitely. How's the bit rate on your end, Kyle? What is that? What's a bit rate, man? I guess it's good. I guess my bit rate's pretty good. Matthew Hill says, that is upsetting to hear. A fraudulent psychiatrist getting upset about a patient taking a safe plant as opposed to their neurotoxin lobotomizing chemicals that destroy your sexual reproductive organs. Yeah. But there are some mild medications. And the problem is, this is the thing, guys, that I want to say, because I know a lot of people are like, do not trust psychiatrists, do not trust doctors, blah, blah. Let me give you a nerd metaphor. So in the Return of the King, Aragorn has to go to the place of the army of the dead, right? And it's a huge army, and he has to get them to help them in this big war, right? I'm not sure what the war was called. I guess the war of the Mordor or whatever. But we have these people out in society. We have these people that are psychiatrists and doctors and maybe even soldiers in the DOD, maybe even some people in the FBI who are good people, who are compartmentalized and don't know a lot about what they're doing, right? They're levers in the system, but they're good people. And if they knew that what they were doing is declaring somebody who is being experimented on as mentally ill, they would not do that, right? So think about this UN thing. Think about the UN declaring it. Think about this truth bomb going out all over the world. The mainstream media maybe being forced to report on this. And then all those people who didn't know what they were doing. That's Army of the Dead, man. That's the Army of the Dead. So coming up, we've got a lot of troubles in the world, right? We got a lot of like horrible troubles coming down the pike. But there's this awakening. There's too much information getting out. There's things that are slipping through that awaken this Army of the Dead. People kind of going through their lives just doing whatever their little compartmentalized action is, right? Because they don't know that it's feeding into great evil and genocide and torture and experimentation, right? But once they know a bigger picture, they will try and help us. They will try and help those who are, who the injustice is happening to. I even think the psychiatrist that I went to, she was concerned because she believed me. She was like, I think she went to this head of the psychiatric thing because she was like, I don't think this guy is mentally ill. Listen to what he's saying. This sounds like something that's going on. The UN is declaring this, because she's so new. I think she wasn't in on like, just keep it quiet and blah, blah, blah. Even if it is true, I don't want to lose my job. She was really trying to do the right thing, I think. I'm not sure. I'd like to think that. I think that's something that I'd like to think, Oh, so Drunken Ninja says no hydrogen bomb will produce gamma rays. So it produced gamma rays? Wow. Let's watch James Munder. Okay, so Drunken Ninja says H-bomb produces light and radiation. So what kind of bomb do you think it was, Drunken Ninja? I'm saying bomb a lot. What kind of bee do you think it is? I get my channel erased for saying bee. Hey, Honey Ann, thanks for dropping by. Let's watch this. Let's watch this thing and look at it. Let's see. So you don't think it was a hydrogen bomb? I think it was some kind of fission. Some kind of fission. Who knows? They might have something new. They might have something completely new. Let's see. And look at the date. Be mindful of the date, guys. August 4th, 2020. Some of you guys in chat can tell everybody what I'm about to show them, because it's August 4th, 2020.
Beirut, check this out.
Really loud. Looks like multiple places blowing up. Could those be substances or like something that was put there and then directed energy was like blowing them all up one by one? I don't know. Nuclear weapon. They said it was ammonium nitrate. They said it was fertilizer. But you see all those points, all those flashes, right, that they're saying were fireworks. All those flashes had to have been something. What do you guys think those flashes were? All the flashes went off, something was, and then boom. It's not like they were just trying to destroy a building. They were trying to damage a large radius. Nuclear bomb. Nuclear. Yeah, so Rapna Nixon says, saw similar flashes in the windows of the Twin Towers. You think so? So Drunken Ninja says, it's like 400,000 pounds of fertilizer. But why would the fertilizer have those flashes, and how would fertilizer, doesn't when fertilizer blows up, isn't it more of just an orange explosion? Like, why was there so much, like the vapor rings and everything like that? So you think it was fertilizer? Yeah, Flat Earth Space Agency says, so nuts. Yeah, it's nuts. Hey, Biggie. Biggie says, hi, everybody. Hi, Kyle. Victor Angelo says, look into Galen Windsor on his philosophy about nuclear propaganda. It's super interesting and makes a lot of sense. I believe he was a nuclear physicist and helped with a lot of different programs. Yeah, Rapnack Nixon asked a good question. How do you move 400,000 pounds of fertilizer into an area that small? Because there's so drunkenness, because there's so much of the fertilizer. I kind of don't think it was fertilizer. I think it's like a fission explosion mixed with some, they got directed energy to set things off, and nobody knows about it. So they advanced all of that. I believe that directed energy was involved in the explosions of the Twin Towers too. And there's a lot of stuff we don't know about, like if certain chemicals are mixed with directed energy, right? There's certain things that we don't know about what would happen. We don't know anything at all about, like if you shot a directed energy beam at some kind of I don't know, just some kind of whatever, maybe not fertilizer, maybe some kind of hydrogen packaged bomb sitting there, that it would create something new. And I want to show y'all why I say that, why I say it could be something new, because it's very interesting. I had a bug on my computer screen. I kind of want to see it again. I want to know what those flashes are. I don't know much about bombs or anything. I don't know much about bees. Well, okay, you had the big orange, that looked like it could be fertilizer. What if it was an explosion too? See, what does Munder think? Can't hear anything he's saying. He's doing it in that weird voice. Yeah, that could be fertilizer. That big orange explosion. Who do you think did it? Drunken Ninja? Lulu Service Dog Lily says fireworks stand went boom. Yeah, that's some very powerful fireworks. Okay, Drunken Ninja says the fertilizer was stored there for 6 years, confiscated from criminals. So it was this huge stockpile of fertilizer that was stolen from criminals, and it just blew up. Karen Rose says they've had dew for thousands of years. Martin Metke's channel explains it all. Yeah, even in the Egyptian days, they directed energy through the pyramids. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. What Arachno Nixon said. Arachno Nixon said, what if the first explosion was fertilizer, only to leave traces so they could later blame it all on fertilizer, because fertilizer couldn't like make an explosion for so many city blocks. And that's why it's all like, it sounds so conspiratorial, because they're like, if we make it complicated enough, think about our targeting and what they do, it's so complicated. If we make it complicated enough, people are going to believe the simple thing. But they have fertilizer there. Why would those flashes go off? Why would if it was just a big compound of fertilizer, why would those flashes be going off like that? You know, they have fertilizer there to blame it on, but fertilizer isn't going to take out enough of the city, so they have like something else that they're activating, something else to activate. Yeah, it is just a thought. Like anything I'm saying is just a thought. I don't know, you know. I'm just thinking it through. Like, what the hell could that have been? It doesn't seem like it could just be fertilizer. I know there's a lot of fertilizer there, but fertilizer like ammonium nitrate and stuff like that, it just blows up, and like it doesn't have the fission rings come out. It doesn't have the mushroom cloud. But I don't really know. Okay, Drunken Ninja says, could even be an accident. Nobody knows yet. Let me show you guys something interesting. I don't think anything's an accident. Nothing like that is an accident in the times that we're living in. But it could be. I mean, it could be. And it's not, though. It's just not. I think that what we need to do on everything, every human being on the world, when something big like that happens, is to immediately say, okay, we need to check and see if who was doing this, who did it, for what reasons, and just scour it. And then if we don't find anything, we can then be like, okay, it's an accident, right? Because saying, I think it's an accident, like right at the beginning, you know, nothing's an accident. It could be though. It could be. So, look at that. There had to have been something underground, right? So it's fertilizer. Okay, so maybe the fertilizer's underground. But why would you have those flashes? So all that fertilizer's like, because you see it's like exploding underground. Flashes go off. I don't think it was an accident. Look at that huge mushroom cloud. And the rings, the vapor rings. How many people died? Like 50 people died, 300 wounded or something like that. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says, I don't watch TV anymore. It's too much propaganda. Yeah, straight up propaganda. I think the last show I watched was The Boys, where all the superheroes are kind of like evil. And it's like, it gave me this feeling of this program, like we're kind of powerless to it, but they're still fighting it, and they actually win in the end, you know. Yeah, I mostly watch YouTube. I'm addicted to like just watching YouTube because it's normal people talking about stuff. It's like normal people looking at big issues, and you usually get a creative insight. You get a creative, truthful insight about what's happening in our world. You know, I think the mainstream media and like people like my dad, they're like the internet is just conspiracy theories. It's just people talking crazy. But I see that the good stuff on YouTube, it's like really truthful, normal people just being truthful about situations, just looking into them, you know. And that's like oxygen in this world that you're trying to find truth, right? Trying to find truth in like everything being a lie. I wonder if Munder chose this music. Okay, let me show you guys this real quick. So the date that this happened was August 4th. Check this out. So when is Obama's birthday? Barack Obama's birthday is August 4th, 1961. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know Barack Obama's birthday is on August 4th? Okay, Arachno Nixon says only 70 that they claimed, but 3,000 wounded. Okay. Hey, Lion and the Lamb. Yeah, there's so many satellite to microwave tower to Gwyn towers to radar. They can burn down force. Gristle Von Robin says, I don't think he can see me. Ask him to compare to China lightning blast. I don't know about the China lightning blast, Gristle Von Robin. I need to look that up. There's so much directed energy being shot off of the ionosphere, or just satellite. The very powerful stuff that starts the fire would be straight from satellite. But then there's also over the horizon radar that's shooting streams of energy that hit the ionosphere and then can create earthquakes or anything like that, like HARPs. And they're just advancing all this technology to do this stuff. So I look at an explosion like that and I immediately think America or Israel, and I immediately think there's probably directed energy involved. But I can't prove it, right? I don't know. But that's just what comes to my mind at the beginning. Lion and the Lamb says it was a nuke. Last count I heard was 70 dead. So you think it was a nuke, Lion and the Lamb? Maybe so. I guess we'll find out more about it. But the problem with finding out more about it is that the people that are going to be giving us the information are people who are trying to cover up what actually happened, right? The mainstream media is going to be fed what they need to say about it. And I just think this is very interesting that Barack Obama's birthday was on August 4th. Was it some type of celebration for his birthday? Yeah. There's so much. That's what I'm saying. That's what Arachno Nixon says. I think the China dam collapse maybe do weapons too, and that's why. I mean, that's why it's so important. Like what targeted individuals are going through, what we know about directed energy, because they're abusing directed energy all over the globe and doing these huge things. Weather, like forming hurricanes, creating fires. Maybe just we want some kind of crisis. Now we've got something that everybody doesn't know about. While they put in a 5G grid, right? While they put in a 5G grid for the public to cover any kind of holes they have in the weapons grid where they can hit and hook into anybody. It's like people need to know about this technology because it's being abused so much. I mean, it's like we're all little ants, and there's this giant psychopathic kid with one of those magnifying glasses, just like shooting directed energy up the ionosphere and back down to create fires, or satellites, just creating weather that floods and destroys the whole East Coast, with that new hurricane. So no radiation. Drunken Ninja says, and the only nuke with no radiation. So there was no radiation. Drunken Ninja says, if it was a nuke, it would have been the world's smallest nuke ever detonated. Yeah, I think it was a combination. I think it was a combination of fertilizer and some fission blast that was maybe set off by directed energy. You saw those little flashes that went off. And if it was just an accident and just the fertilizer exploded, why would it have vapor coming off? And why would those flashes at the beginning be there? I'm going to look into it more. Hash 74 says, if it was a nuke, the area would be destroyed by radiation. If there isn't widespread radiation poisoning, then it has to be something else. Yeah. Arachno Nixon says, I'm thinking do, but I don't know right now. You want to look up the China lightning blast? Let's look that up real quick. Because I've got something from the Human Rights Council that Niels Melzer, his report on that, but it's kind of boring. I think I'll just show you all that and put it in the description. Let's see, China. Can you all see this? Can I just do this when I'm sharing my screen? Sharing the tab. Oh, wait, let's go to YouTube. China lightning strike. See if it's the right one. So it was 2 days ago. Big thunderstorm and lightning strike hit Shenyang City, China. Can you all see this? And I'm sure they can create lightning in the ionosphere. Put enough directed energy on the ionosphere to get it really, to get a lot of static going or whatever they need, and create like even worse lightning with directed energy. Oh my God. That's not lightning. Yeah, we're in trouble, folks. If people don't start learning about directed energy, they have directed energy to just shoot out of satellites, to shoot off the ionosphere, to shoot from microwave power. It's a weapons grid. There's no way that's lightning. It looks like lava. Are they just starting to pour lava down on cities now? Oh, that's so bad. That's directed energy. I want to see that one again. Thank you for telling me about that, Gristle Von Robin. You can't see it? You can't see it? Hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. I think I'm going to have to do this when I share my screen. Let me go back. When I share my screen, I think I have to come out and come back again. Okay, y'all can't see it. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to show this one. Hold on, guys. So I've got to come out and then come back in again. Yeah, Ragnar Nixon says World War III is so weird. We've been going through World War III for a couple of years. It's just heating up. The New World Order takedown of humanity. I mean, you see how as targeted individuals, it's like they're trying to take us down. It's a takedown program, and now they've just gone to like, hey, we're going to take down humanity. You know, sucks. So I guess this is just showing the clouds right there. Can you guys see it now? Yeah, Karen Rose says heart bounces energy off the ionosphere to dustily and burn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think too. Ragnar Nixon says Ninja. I think we've been watching it unfold for some time now. Already happened. Mm-hmm. Me too. This right here. What is he saying? No, it doesn't have to see. Look at that. That's not lightning. Hold on. That is not lightning. Slow motion. It looks like lava. So do y'all think that that was directed energy straight off of the ionosphere coming down through the clouds, or do y'all think that it was straight from a satellite? The awful thing, and let me repeat myself, why people have to understand how directed energy is being abused globally by all these military industrial complexes and like think tanks and stuff like that. They're advancing it. They're finding new ways to make it way more dangerous and to make it look way more natural when they create a crisis like busting a dam or lightning strikes that just take out whole cities, right? I think y'all can see it now. Hey, Joseph, how you doing, brother? Okay, y'all see it now. Yeah, Hash 74 says that is not lightning. WTF is going on. This is, I hadn't seen this one. That's why people have to know that directed energy is being used to cause all these natural things. The volume. It's like a ball of fire. Yeah, Flat Earth Space Agency says advanced warfare, advanced asymmetrical warfare on the population. Like that's the point in time that we're at, where it's like they're doing these huge things like burning whole cities, like creating fires from directed energy weapons from satellites, creating weather patterns, hurricanes and tornadoes to rip through like the East Coast or the Gulf Coast and stuff like that, and then other places in the world, right? And using these things that look natural with very, very advanced weapons, directed energy weapons, and they're learning more and more, and like they're learning how to do it more and more naturally. And then it's like they do those big things to destroy cities, destroy human life, to push people off of their land, right? To get money from insurance, to get housing gone so that they can build for corporations and things like that. But then, like on the human level, on the individual level, targeting people to destroy their brains and collect data, toxifying people with different kinds of poisons and chemtrails, foods and water. Like y'all saw that video I put out where they're putting fluoride. It's like fluoride, a bunch of other stuff, fluoride, aluminum, barium, and then what was the other? And electromagnetic frequencies, right? So it's like this is calcified and like me being targeted, and then I get all these other chemicals in me. It's like toxified my pineal gland. It's made me feel very different because you've got divine frequencies that we're connected to that raise our frequencies, right? So the whole battle is doing things with these big weapons, but then on the population, poisoning the population and taking down our frequencies. Because if we're at lower frequencies, we're better controlled. And I'll go into crazy land here because I'm not sure about this, but I think that I don't think that the leaders of this world, like at the top of the pyramid or the top of the food chain, I think something else above them feeds off of low frequency. When we get into a low frequency state, they can feed on us better. They can use us as like human batteries, basically. I don't know. Lion in the Lamb says they are expecting many asteroids, extinction level event. I would not be surprised. We got to get ready. We got to get right with God. We got to get with Jesus Christ. He is the only way. He is the only way. Do as much as you can do. Help people and everything, but really connect with Jesus Christ. He's the only way. We stay safe. We stay strong. We're connected to that divine power, while all this stuff is going on. It's the only way that I've been able to move forward at all. Yeah, PA1 says that's strange looking. Let's watch it again, because I think this is just showing the damage. Looks like plasma is what it looks like. That sounds probably really bad. It looks like plasma because they're dealing with plasma now. It's not just lasers. It's not just high-powered microwaves. Because nobody's talking about it and doing anything about it, they're moving on to like plasma, like taking the ionosphere and creating plasma that then they can direct down. That looks like plasma. You see how it went like this? It comes down and then it kind of breaks off like that. We're dealing with these new things that with the words and the science that we're talking about, it may not even get to what they've advanced things to. That looks like plasma. Looks like plasma off of the ionosphere. And Charles Hall talked about it to me a lot. I think he put some in his videos where he's talking about, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take the ionosphere and create plasma out of it by using certain directed energy, and then guide that plasma. And so that's just the damage right there. Did you guys want to see anything else? Were there some other odd occurrences that have been going on? Flat Earth Space Agency says, yeah, the Paradise Dew fires and controlled nano embers spreading fires. Yeah. I think they shoot a high-powered laser in a couple of different spots. You can see it, like it hits the cars. You see holes on them. I've got this thing. Let me see which one it is, where it shows. Is that the one? I mean, they showed the test of high-powered microwaves and directed energy lasers and what it does to like certain cars that they hit. Trying to find the article. I have a lot of articles that I want to read. Probably not going to be that one. I don't think I have it up here. Let's look at one of those. I'll look one of those up. We'll watch somebody who looked into weapons in regards to any of the California fires. It seems like there's continual fires in California created from weapons. It seems like it's a big place where they're trying to really get people off their land, so then they can move people into these little packed smart cities, take all that land back, and then do who knows what with it. Just clear everybody off of it though. And what are they gonna for Agenda 21 when they clear a bunch of people off the land? What are they going to do with it? They're just going to leave it there. Do their rituals, bring children out there and do their satanic rituals on the cleared out land. Okay. Let's look at some of those where they're putting like holes in cars. You see the tires are melting and everything. You see they leave the trees up but destroy homes. Gosh, this annoys me so much. I think I got it. No, I'm gonna have to buy a new connection for this thing. Hey, good night, Gristle. You gotta go. Gristle says I gotta go. Much love from me to all of you. Keep calling our torturers rapists and cowards. It does bother them. Love you all. Yeah, they're worse. They're like satanic, genocidal maniacs, brain rapists. Live. I saw it a couple weeks ago and came back to your channel to find myself unsubbed. Who could have guessed? Yeah, they're really disconnecting my subscribers. They're not giving any notification. I mean, we do live streams, and I think that it goes further than that. I'm on a video. They can make a video that I made before come after a video that I made later. So my attackers can directly mess around with my YouTube. So I'm not sure if they can take me out of the feed or whatever. What was I looking for? Do fires. Yeah. You guys definitely subscribe to James. He's great. Oh yeah, I'm looking it up on YouTube, so it's not going to pull this up. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Wait, okay, I'm going to pause it and show this. Wow. Wow. This isn't suspicious at all. Okay, now my computer's freezing up. I'll read some of y'all's comments. SHP says, I downloaded Peer Block, and if you check off all blocks, it will show Xerox. And the Xerox is the RFID tags in your body. Really? My parents worked at Xerox. Like, that was the first place where they were. Like a long time ago, like before I was even born. I wonder if that's why me and my dad were targeted. I wonder if he did something at Xerox. So let's shoot. Wait. See if I can find this. Look at this. This just screams directed energy weapons. It's on CBS News, but they're not going to connect it. California community questions if fires cause mystery rashes.
My skin was getting tight and swollen. I'd be itchy. I remember rubbing my hands and rubbing my feet. And
this photo, she's home from a barbecue.
It can't be something I ate because we haven't eaten in hours. And so
yeah, when I'm hit with direct, they can make me itch all the time.
It's feeling the same thing.
Overwhelmed by the dozens of comments she got, several people who live near her Rancho Cordova neighborhood of Stone Creek sharing these photos with similar reactions.
I was burning, itching, scratching, blisters all over my face, all over my chest, all over my neck.
Tamara Steinhoff said she went for a walk Friday. When she came back to work,
started burning, feeling like I was itching. My throat was starting to close. Felt like my tongue was swelling. I couldn't breathe.
With grass fires popping up in that area over the last few weeks, many wondered if poison oak could be a cause.
Poison oak can travel through the air. The allergens are so strong that that's enough exposure to create an allergic response.
Dermatologist Dr.
What do y'all think about this?
Says poison oak reactions typically happen 24 to 48 hours after exposure.
Absolutely.
That's what I think, Arachno Nixon says it's all so confusing. We just don't know enough about what the hell they're doing. Like in this situation, it's like, are they creating fires in California with dew weapons? And then just like, okay, well, we can go ahead and just practice individual targeting, making people's skin itchy and stuff like that. Since we're doing this big thing, why don't we use that time to just go ahead and experiment on anybody, you know, that we've got locked in on, that we've got their GPS. But who knows, right? PA1 says they were advancing in sound therapy in the 80s, which are FQs that produce shock and heat. Yeah, they do a lot of this stuff in the medical community. They use fMRI, shock therapies, you know, remote neural manipulation in medical settings. They use all this technology. Karen Rose says, sorry, but I'm kind of over the top with my Bible prophecy. When do you guys think Jesus is coming? Is he coming this time? Is he coming with all this stuff going on? SHP, okay. SHP says, yeah, I know they used unassigned ports. DuPont paint is also in my list with a high end port block. So they're connected to your wireless network. Yeah, that's kind of scary. Like my ASN, the weapons contractors, Monsanto, some really big, like what's the one here? It's not DuPont, but Dow Chemicals, and a lot of energy departments, and a lot of insurance companies. So I'm like, how much money is involved in my targeting? It gets scary where it's like, you may have millions and millions of dollars in research to you, and other contractors are checking up on the data that's maybe coming from your implants or whatever, you know, data they're collecting from your brain, and they're all making, it's like millions of dollars shared off of your experimentation. So it's like I think like I want to get let go. I want this torture to stop, but it's so much money. They're just going to be like, this is one person and one person's family, and they have no right to life because we're experimenting and sharing all this data, and it doesn't even matter what happens to them. They can go crazy, their brain can be destroyed, they can die from it, and they don't care, you know, and they don't care. It's just really scary. Arachno Nixon says, SHP, have you seen that doc on how DuPont has modified literally every human's DNA? And they're going to be changing people's DNA even more with the vaccine. That's one thing. I hedge on the masks. And I'm going to do something where I write something on my mask at least. But with the vaccine, there's no way that I can take it because I know that they have nanotechnology in it. Oh, I want to show you all something real quick. So mystery rashes. That's such a suspicious connection to dew weapons. And nobody even talks about dew weapons. It's a no conspiracy, but that's what they're doing everything by. That's what they're doing all these crises by. And then you look at Portland, you look at the riots in Portland, you look at all the riots in Oregon, and Oregon is like the targeting capital of America, I would say. Like, I mean, it happens maybe more in California or New York, but Portland is like where doctors are heavily involved. And it's like it's a very satanic area for it. Drunken Ninja says they're planning World War III, Nixon. I think it's already here. We're dealing with the Fabian Society, and what the Fabians did is they did everything real slow. They would starve their opponents. They would wait their opponents out in cold weather. They would cut off their supply lines. They would do it real slow, and then they would strike, right? So we're already in World War III with asymmetrical warfare, and they're just going to keep on rolling it real slow. Crisis, normalization, and we're going to be fighting, and it's still going to be rolling on as we die and the next generations come. So it's like we have to leave a legacy of morality, a legacy of some victories against this for the next generation to know that they can fight against it too. SHP says, oh, hey, MP, if you need some help, just send me a PM or email. I need some help. I think I'm going to work with Ken. But Ken calling me, I was getting long distance charges. Like Ken was calling me from Canada, and it gave me like $300 in charges because we talked a long time. So, or I called him back. So he's going to have to call me, and then I need to get help from him because I'm getting information. I'm like getting the evidence of my ASN and everything like that. I can't get doing the ISP, like knowing what I'm looking at, you know. But I'm still working on that stuff. SHP, are you going to give it to the UN? Are you just planning on like, okay, I'm going to collect this evidence and get who can we get to look at it? Who we might have a chance with them actually helping us. Yeah, Jared Ritter says they're not telling the people anything about the war. What's the best way to win a war against your opponents when they don't even know they're in a war? When they think it's just a natural occurrence. It's a natural hurricane. It's a natural fire. It's a natural pandemic. It's a natural response to George Floyd being killed. It's a natural response, right? But all these things they use that look natural are like a war on the people, you know. So wait, what are y'all talking about? Jesus coming? There's a false one that's going to come first? Karen says there's a false one that's going to come first. Tomei says, yes, I've been to the chemist about being itchy too. Put heaps of different creams on and not work. It only seems to do it at home, and I was thinking it could be targeting. Yeah, and my dad was targeted. He had an aneurysm and almost died, and then after that, he started getting psoriasis. And we have this friend who's a dermatologist. He used to be our neighbor. He gave my dad some kind of cream that works really good. I'll try and find out what it is and put it in a chat. But it like really you got to keep using it. But like if you just use it and leave it for a week, it usually takes care of rashes and things. SHP says, no, I had no idea they were. Perhaps they have problems with mine. I have loads of back mutations. Jeff P. Lion and Lamb says, Sun Simulator is melting garbage cans. See Jeff P. channel. Okay. Yeah, it's a Hash 74 asks something that I think about. It says, more importantly, when Jesus comes, will we be too blind to recognize him? Or are they going to prop up somebody that looks like a savior and they say is like the Moshiach or Jesus, and it's going to be like the Antichrist? It's going to be somebody bad that people do worship. And then after that, maybe Jesus comes. But my thinking is there's been so many like the Black Plague and the Bolshevik Revolution where millions of people died, the Holocaust, and those were times where people people in those areas were like, this is the end times. Like one Jewish guy was in the Holocaust. He was in the Holocaust camps, and he got out of the camps, right? And they said, is this the happiest day of your life? And he said, no, it's the saddest day of my life, because the Moshiach didn't come. So because he was in the Holocaust camps, he was like, this is the time for the Savior, the Jewish Savior, the Moshiach, to come. And I think, are we in that time where it's like everything's going haywire all around the globe, and we're like, hey, it's time for Jesus to come? But it didn't happen in those other times of horrible genocide around the world, those times when people were thinking the same thing. So I'm like, is Jesus going to come this time? I don't know. You know, I mean, he's there. Jesus is there connecting with us and giving us strength through these times. But I'm just like, well, we got to do our best. We've got to help each other. We've got to stock up on food and do what we need to do and get resources and really prepare for what's coming. And then if he comes, okay, but if we go on home, you know, that's okay too, whatever God's will is. You know, I'm trying to get there because I'm very stressed out. I'm like, what do we do with this? You know, and for me, it's like God's putting into my heart, just focus on the directed energy weapon torture, the UN stuff, trying to get everything to the surface, and then you can deal with all that, right? It's kind of like my mission is just talking about this, because if people can understand that there's a weapons grid that's doing all this stuff, they can start to understand that. They can start to understand the world better. If people understand that there's so much broadband mind control, there's direct mind control, then there's riots and stuff, right? If they can understand the root cause, then maybe everybody can kind of wake up and say, whoa, we're being played here. You know, the whole world is being played. All the regular people in the world are being played, and just stop and focus on that big problem of abuse of directed energy, abuse of neurotechnology, right? It's a huge thing. So it's not like I can just go, oh, I fixed it or whatever. It's going to take a lot of people talking about it. Alan says, news said tomorrow, August 6th, it is the 75th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima. Wow, I hope another nuclear, another bomb doesn't go off, another B doesn't go off. Can somebody check and see if the B word is something I could get my video canceled for? Jared says, hey guys, sitting in my room waiting for the fight for the vax. Yeah. What are we going to have to do? Because I'm not taking it either. I mean, are we going to be put in concentration camps? Will we just not be able to travel? Will we be able to at least like live in our home and go to the supermarket and stuff like that, but just not be able to cross state lines? Because the vaccine's dangerous, but then the ID 2020 is going to mix with that, and it's going to make the human body more of an operating system, right? They've got it with us as targeted individuals. They can read and write to the brain. They can control the nervous system, but they're always advancing how to do that better. They're always advancing how to better control the brain and better control the nervous system, right? Learning from us being targeted, then creating concoctions, nanotechnology maybe in vaccines, mixed with an ID 2020 or that hydrogel that DARPA is working on, getting onto neural networks, and then, they've got more intense control of the brain. They've got more direct control of actual thought to action. You see, that's what they're trying to do. Like with me, it's like they don't move my arms from my protocol, but trying to condition thoughts and emotions and things like that. But they want to get it to where the human being can be played as a video game. And it's just like straight up, we do this to your brain. You think this, you go. Pepper, stop knocking things over. I'm a little bit ham-fisted and dizzy because I'm taking that Neurontin. But I feel better. I feel like I can just hang out. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, sometimes I was just like, my nervous system was just so bad. It's hard to just relax and go through information. So bad. And I was just like, should I even push it? Should I keep pushing it? We got the UN thing coming up. Maybe I should just settle down and work on some things, some other stuff. I don't know. So many things to work on. It's hard to know what the strategic points of getting something done are. I guess we just got to pray about it and do our best. Hey, Meerkat says, Trump said the military is going to distribute the vaccine, whatever that means. Yeah, he said powerfully. The military is going to powerfully distribute the vaccines. Boy, I mean, that sounds like a mandate to me. Line in the Lamb says, I heard leaders in Beirut says Damascus is next for the bombing. I wonder if it's going to be on the anniversary of the Hiroshima. We're seeing the events. We're seeing the big events now. They got the pandemic rolling on, all the riots and destruction and everything. And now we're seeing they're like, well, that's not enough. We really need to destroy a bunch of countries. And we really need to put more fear into people. So we need some big explosions, right? I don't think that was an accident. I don't think it. Hey, thank you, Tanya. Tanya says, Kyle, we do understand what you're going through. Yeah, I love you guys. I know y'all do. This gets real bad sometimes. My problem is I've got information I want to get out. I've got a lot of information that could help people, empower them, let them know what's going on. We've got hopeful things about our situation coming up, but my body's just so wrecked. I'm dude, I mean, even now it's I'm real tired and it's hard to, it's just hard to do stuff. Thank you, Karen. I love you guys. Y'all are so supportive. Y'all give me a lot of good ideas. In the chat, I've gotten conditioned to have to do videos with the live streams. I'm trying to do some without live streams, but it's so fun. We're talking, people, other targeted individuals are putting in ideas, and then we can look at that stuff. It's just a good way to do it. Thanks for coming, Hesh. Hesh74 says, good night, everyone. Okay, let me show you guys this thing real quick. And I want to make a point about it because we've got a lot of doctors who are talking about the vaccines, and they're also talking about how the vaccines could have things in them that lead to remote neural monitoring. So we've got a whole bunch of people who know that the vaccines are dangerous, and they're actually stumbling in to what the targeting is. So it's really good for us. If I can remember the timeline on this. Yeah, it's my attackers can't do so much stuff to me when I'm doing a video. But what they'll probably do, I'm going to call it right now, what they're probably going to do is they're probably just going to start freezing stuff up. If they can't affect me physically and mentally, they'll just start freezing StreamYard up. I shouldn't even said that. Shouldn't have said that. I think it's at 17. We'll watch from 17 here. So this guy is what's his name? I'm not sure what his name is. I guess I'll subscribe to them. For mandatory vaccine, and then he's talking about a lot of the transhuman elements that are going to come out of that, right? All the stuff they're going to put into the body to make the human body more of an operating system. PA1 says anyone that believes in the sun simulator should look up on history the 6 Vestal virgins that keep the Vestal fires lit in Rome with the burning mirrors, pretty much advanced stuff for the time. What did they bounce light off of it, like light energy? Jared Ritter says, I believe that the vax is the mark of the beast. I'm kind of thinking, this is where my thoughts go about the mark of the beast. It's your forehead, it's on your forehead and on your right hand, right? And in those times, people worked and they saw the right hand is strong. You worked, you did things, you took action. Now your forehead, maybe there was some kind of sign that he got where an angel was pointing at the head, and maybe it meant the higher functioning brain, right? So your higher functioning brain, and then your hand to do action. So people's higher functions being taken over by something to take evil action, marked, right? And I think it would have something to do with mind control, or something that actually, like a neural network put into the frontal cortex right here, and then it changes you are owned by the beast, right? That's kind of where my thinking goes, but I'm not sure. The vaccine could lead to that. But your forehead, that he may have seen a sign from somebody and not really known a lot about the brain, and an angel was like saying, it's your forehead, but he meant higher brain functions in the right hand to work, right? So it may not actually be like a physical mark that they put there. It could be something that they do to higher thinking, your higher functioning, and then taking action. You are controlled by the beast, right? But I'm not sure. That's kind of just my view on it right now. Yeah, SHP says apparently borax shields from electromagnetic radiation. Yeah, borax baths. Do your Epsom salt baths, and then do borax with like tea tree oil, borax with like tea tree oil, and there's a lot of other things you can mix, like baking soda, bentonite clay. You can actually do a cleansing with that. Cleansing works really good. If you stay on it, cleansing works really good. Joseph says, I think there is a mark inside the computer simulation that humans build. Maybe so. SHP says, do you think we are cursed because we are TIs? No, I actually think it's, I think that one big thing, and like at the top of the pyramid, how they were picking people is that they want everyone low frequency, right? It can almost change the reality of a situation if a lot of human beings are at a low frequency. And I think they picked people who were very outspoken and very spiritually connected at a high frequency that almost changed the landscape. There are many angles lower down how people were picked, but I think that they wanted to lower the frequency of those people who were almost not allowing a hellish new world. We're actually kind of more connected to God. We're our pineal gland, and then other things that are connected spiritually. We're actually more powerful spiritually. We always do what's right? We're outspoken, or most TIs, right? Most TIs. And I think it has to do with that. I think they want everybody's frequencies lowered. And if we were at a high frequency when these things hit, you speak out, you close those people down, right? I'm not sure. I think there's different reasons at each level, but definitely we're not cursed. We are cursed by this world. We are cursed by Satan. We are cursed by the top of the pyramid and these organizations we were picked, and now we're technologically, raped all the time. So it's kind of a cursed life, but it's not like we are blessed by God. God wants to help us. Like the chain of creation wants to help us because it understands how brutally satanic this is. I think we're special in a lot of ways just because we were targeted. Yeah, Arachno Nixon says pineal gland. You've got to cleanse that, guys. They're really trying to do that. If you're a targeted individual, you're getting hit by this stuff. You're getting hit with the electromagnetic radiation. You're getting hit with, fluoride. Fluorides in your environment, aluminum and barium from chemtrails. It feel more disconnected spiritually, because your pineal gland is like an antenna, but it's an antenna for picking up like divine frequencies that are way above just the gigahertz frequencies, even scalar and stuff like that. Frequencies that they're not like the weapons grid is not working with. But if it can damage your pineal gland, your antenna is kind of broken, and you're not picking up But it's not the only way we're connected to God, but it's a very powerful physical way that we're connected to God, that we're connected to the divine, and it helps us in our life, you know. So it's a very important thing. I think I'll do a video just going over how we need to cleanse the pineal gland, because I've got to work on that more. That, you know, I feel that, like, I used to be like, oh man, everything goes right, I'm connected to God, just thinking about God all the time, and things would go more right for me, right? And then when I feel disconnected, like everything goes wrong, everything's negative. So I really want to cleanse that part. You start, these miraculous things come out of impossible situations. It's really amazing. The world that we live in and the universe that we live in is amazing and magnificent. And we are the light. We are the good. You know, we have way more than we think to fight with. Way more. But we have to tap into it. If we just look at all this darkness that's going on and we're like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know if God's going to help or whatever. I don't even know if there's God. Dude, it's not possible. It's not possible. It'll eat you alive, you know. Hey, True Serum. True Serum says, hello, all my fellow TIs. How are you doing, brother? Yeah, Jared Ritter says, Jesus is who I call upon when they hit me. Me too. I do a mantra. The power of Christ compels you to my, when I'm trying to sleep, and usually it works. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ, and because they're demons. I mean, they're people, have human operators and an automated system working, but like, it's just to say, you're demons. The power of Christ compels you to leave, you know, to get off of me. Jesus Christ has commanded, has given me power. And right, they're on weapon systems, but the things that can happen that you don't know about, like these complicated things that can happen where maybe they back off a little bit, maybe they're not supposed to do this or something, you know, things happen where you get a better defense, you know, I don't know. Lots of things have happened along the way. If you're like really connected to Jesus Christ, really connected to God, those things can happen. Yeah, True Serum says, I'm right, my friend, staying positive. Yeah, me too. I'm trying to stay positive. I feel a little bit better. I thought I wasn't coming back, like these past weeks. I just thought my mind wasn't coming back because it was just like constant obsessive thought injection, even when I'm like trying to do things. And it used to be like they would inject certain feelings and thoughts, but then if I was like making a video or I had to go, you know, go shopping or go do something, you know, I kind of got out of it, but it started to become like just thought injection, feeling injection, where it's like I can't focus on anything. So the Neurontin seems to have leveled that out, you know, just cut off my brain from a nervous system. But I know a lot of people are against pharmaceuticals. I just try and keep it light, like do anything that's very, very mild. And I look it up and I see what it's doing. I'm not going to take any like those medications for like schizophrenia or anything like that. Heavy toxins. I'm not going to take those. I don't even think, somebody said Lyrica, but with Lyrica, it's like when I took Lyrica, my attackers used that medication to make everything seem like a dream, like lucid dreaming. Like even when I was awake, it felt like lucid dreaming. So we do have to be careful with it. True Serum says, same here, Kyle. It got a bit rough last week for me, but I'm still here. Yeah, it's getting rough for me, man. I'm just hoping that means with the UN thing coming up that our attackers don't know what's going to happen, and they're really trying to, like, with me, it seems like they're trying to neutralize me, brain hobble me. I don't think they can kill me. I don't think they're allowed to kill me because I have so much information now, but they're trying to brain hobble me, vagus nerve stimulation just to rip up my face and just basically neutralize me to where I'm like, I'm so tired, I can't think. It's too hard to do anything, you know. They really want me to shut up and stop talking about stuff. But you know, hey, Yvette. Flat Earth Space Agency said, how did David defeat Goliath? I love that question. I'm going to go back. I love talking about this one because this is basically, I'm trying to fight in the spirit of David. Oh, they're freezing my shit. freezing my stuff. Sorry, I've been cussing a lot lately. I think that's mind control. I like that question. Where is it? Where's that question? Faith in a rock. I want to put that up. Flat Earth Space Agency said, how did David defeat Goliath? Faith in a rock, right? So I mean, I'm throwing rocks, right? We're throwing rocks. We got faith, we're throwing rocks. It's a huge giant. How can a rock defeat a giant, right? How can a YouTube channel defeat a giant? How can us talking in the comments defeat a giant? How can other people's live streams defeat a giant? How can protests defeat all this stuff? Man, we're all throwing rocks. And when God guides them against evil, things can happen. Yeah, in this situation, yeah, I like to think of David and Goliath and Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel in the lion's den, where you can start to be unappetizing to your attackers. You can start to be unappetizing to your gang stalkers. Like, I think in my situation, I do get gang stalking around my apartment, but I make these videos, right? And I try and help you guys put out information. It's not as much. It's not as intense because I think they're watching my videos. I become unappetizing to the lions. They say, oh, he's like doing activism on this stuff. They start learning about it, and they're like, oh, this is bad what we're doing, right? You become unappetizing. And that's just one way you can become unappetizing to your lions. Like, God can do, like, if you get with God and you just get with Jesus Christ, it's like he can make you unappetizing to any lion that's going on in the world. But I mean, there's some things that are so, like bombs going off and stuff like that. I don't know, those are like deathly. But God's power can even put us in a different place when something really bad's going on or something like that. Alan Nielsen Brewer says, yep, Kyle, for years had negative thought injection. Then they raised the volume to B2K. It was them along with years of dues. Thankfully, now I know. Yeah. Yeah, with this, I want to tell you a cool thing. With the Neurontin that I'm taking, yesterday I had like 5 hours where I could not hear the V2K. Like, it did something to my brain, and they had to reset up the V2K. They had to modify it so that I could hear it, because I do hear it right now, but I had 5 hours yesterday, could not hear the V2K. So great. So great. Yvette says, we are more than conquerors through Christ who loves us. Yes. More than conquerors. Survivors, we're thrivers. We help people. You know, we are not Illuminati light, but we are a light unto the world. And if you do good and you have positive thoughts and high vibrations, right? With targeting, it's hard because they're trying to lower your vibrations. And I've had times where I'm just like, just one big ball of low vibration. And you kind of, if you feel that way, you want to kind of hunker down, but you want to get your vibrations up so you can resonate them out to people who are hurting, you know, like you laugh and joke and tell positive stuff in this time, and get everybody's vibrations up, because one of the plans of the top of the pyramid is to lower people's vibrations through fear. These big events that are happening, and even social media, like there's tons of good stuff on YouTube, but everybody, like, okay, so that explosion happens. That explosion happens today in Beirut, and then everybody on YouTube's talking about it. So that one event there can create fear and spread it out over all the communications platforms, you see. So we've got to find, you know, ways to balance that. And I understand that people are just reporting it, but the way that information flows nowadays, that's an asymmetrical warfare to take certain events and false flags and everything and spread that fear out. Even when people are just like, well, I just want to report this important information so people will be aware of it, they can protect themselves, right? But to some people, it makes them really scared, and then it's this low resonance spreading, right? Hey, Rose. Freedom says, Kyle's live feed is way better than the other show. What other show? This is the only show that exists. No, tons of TIs are doing great stuff. Tons of TIs are doing great stuff. I love it that Wayne's doing a live stream. Didn't catch it. I woke up too late tonight. I'm gonna try and go to his next one. He's doing a great job. I just think, you know, this is not I know we all have different ideas, so this doesn't come with like, you know, and this UN thing, it's really hopeful. Even them just declaring it, it's a golden ticket. We can take that golden ticket. Like, we don't have to wait for the UN to do its investigation and really slow all this stuff down. We can jump on it, get that information, then we're speaking to our parents, our friends, you go to a doctor, you can have your golden ticket to make sure that they cannot put you into a mental institution. I think this is something that adds to, boom, like right off the bat, everything that's just done so far, boom, golden ticket, you know. And I wish that other TIs saw it that way, and you know, but it's not. I know we all have different views on stuff. I'm just gonna say what I think about things. I'm just gonna say what I think about things. I'm gonna tell y'all what I think. I'm gonna do my best there, and then other people, they're gonna, you know, say what they think is important, and then we'll just leave it like that. Hey, new type. I'll probably be on a little while longer. I have a lot of stuff to show. I have a lot, but some of it's documentation. I don't know how much y'all want to hang out when I start reading articles. But yeah, I need to get some stuff off my plate that I've been kind of collecting, information that I've been collecting. And I feel a lot better doing live streams. I feel just more like myself, like not, because it's like they'd stimulate my vagus nerve and I'd have a fight or flight, and I have fight or flight in situations where it doesn't make any sense. Like if I'm on a live stream, I'm comfortable, I'm talking to y'all, but it would be this like fight or flight when I'm showing a video, and I just go, it'd be like, oh my God, like not even just anxiety, but like doing something to my brain where it's like the brain just starts to freak out. It gets that bad. And that's a way that my attackers want to try and drive me off of good things that I'm doing. But I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on YouTube. I kind of see that it's like all the good information is getting censored. I'm going to get information out, hang around probably till the UN announces it, see how that goes, and then reevaluate. Because I do want to get us to where I want to do some medical things. Like get doctors to look at a DTI from 2018, then a DTI from now, and see if that will be evidence, you know, see with the UN information, and if I can get doctors on our side, so I could find out what we need to say to them, you know, stuff like that. There's some other things that I want to work on that aren't, I could tell you guys on YouTube, but I need to actually do it, you know. I cannot find this. Talking and looking for stuff is tough. Where is this? Is it right up the top? Here it is. Okay. So if anybody knows this guy's name, I think he's a doctor. He's a chiropractor, but he's talking about the vaccine, and he talks about what Dr. Carey talked about remote neural monitoring coming from it. So we've got this whole group of people who are against the vaccines and looking into it and looking at the hydrogel that DARPA's making to collect on neural networks, right? Everybody, like all that whole truth community is stumbling into, oh, they want to start connecting people's brains to the Internet of Things. They want to turn people's brains into basically operating systems that then can be manipulated, you know. So people are starting to stumble into the targeting who may not have known about it before, the people looking into vaccines, which is super good for us. Is this going to work? Gonna go? Maybe I need to. Karen Rose said, I heard that all pharmaceuticals and supplements are manufactured or controlled by the Bain Corporation, so stop my supplements. I don't think so. There's a lot of supplements that are made by different organizations,
Robert F. K. Jr.,
different companies.
Kennedy.
Go to 17. I think you guys can see this.
All been backed by the Bill Gates Foundation. Every one of those moves, that German company, all three of those German companies that I mentioned, she mentions that's been backed by the Gates Foundation. Can't get away from these products. They want to try to license it, but they cannot license it because they can't show any proof that it increases immunity in human trials. And they're trying hard. Does that sound like a vaccine you want to take? Can't you just see because they're boosting up these numbers that they're just gonna shove it down our throats and make it sound like this is a good thing for you? You better think again. DARPA is,
okay, so he goes to the DARPA thing, but I want to say, like, with vaccines, if they were safe, right, wouldn't they, like, have something on mainstream news, like, showing the exact components of the vaccines and exactly how it works, you know? I'm going to start looking for that. Do they have anything where they show all the components of the vaccine, everything in it, every chemical in it, and then, you know, show everything in it and say exactly how it works, you know? I don't think they do. Arachno Nixon says, I've worked in dispensaries before, and it's disgusting what they do to the product. Put all kinds of chemicals in it. Yeah, I think that's why they're legalizing marijuana everywhere, because they want to put, like, you know, smart dust and weird chemicals on it to affect this. I got some CBD oil recently.
Which is the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency.
CBD.
She went on to talking about that they also focus on RNA and DNA vaccines, product altering our bodies, and again with the sticker microneedling in the humans at a genetic level. And that's Gates again talking. And shoot, he was talking about that back in 2015 and 17 on TED TV. This stuff is real, folks. This is not conspiracy. This is not maybe. Look up these companies I'm mentioning to you in this video here. Please get awake at the switch is all I got to say. God almighty, we can help maybe change this and stop this if we stick together. And again, I'll say it lately all the time. I don't care if you're black, white, orange, polka dot, or purple. It means nothing. We're all children of God, and if we don't wake up and see that, we're going to have a problem. We need to stick together in this. Educate each other. Be there for each other. God almighty. 2012 DARPA.
Maybe the people who refuse to take the vaccines can build communities. Can, like, build communities, like, out, like in Montana, farmland, some of the places where they're farmland, and can buy time away from the New World Order. I heard one guy, Quantum of Consciousness, and they're setting up, they're talking about it and looking at certain places where they can build communities to just get away from smart cities, to get away from the big cities. The bad thing is I think we are to, like, save our lives and to get away from some of this stuff, because they're going to be trying to cause chaos in every city, locking down every city and everything, and then riots. I think that we're going to actually have to do some hard stuff, right? We're going to have to, like, move away and build farmland and things like that. And, like, with the targeting, it seems impossible to me. I can get ready, I can get resources, but I don't have anywhere to go, like, if things get really bad in my city, right? But that's why, you know, that's why I have this hope that we can change the targeting, like with the UN thing. You know, we can change the intensity, or even if the UN announces it, something magical could happen, some miracle could happen, please God, that, you know, the contractors and all the people doing it are like, okay, well, the UN has said that this is illegal, and they've said it, you know, they put it in stone that this is illegal, and maybe they will just have to stop. Maybe by their own laws, their own little laws that they create to say it's okay to destroy our lives and do all this stuff. When the UN says it may you know, interfere with that, and they're like, okay, well, we can't do it because we got to play by the rules. I don't know, you know, I have a hope though. SHP says, I think TIs will have to leave together at some point. Many TIs I have spoken with believe we have to head to the mountains. The mountains are like Montana on the directed energy professional society. Like they are, they love directed energy weapons. They're trying to get people to love directed energy weapons, and they're so great. They have this map of where directed energy weapons are like set up all around America. And in Montana, there's like one dot. In other states, there's like filled with red dots. But Montana, Michigan, no, not Michigan. Michigan had a lot of dots. It was like Montana, and then somewhere like North or South Dakota, there was only like one dot. And what's her name? I can't remember her name. Solus lives in Montana on farmland because she was getting hit with directed energy, and I think she's very smart. She found the place to go where there's not a lot of activity there. There's not a lot of microwave towers, radars in that area to hit people. So I think Montana might be a place to go. That's going to be tough because I don't have a lot of energy to do that stuff. Arachno Nick says, I will only smoke the herb I've grown personally. Everything else is not to be trusted. I can't grow mine in my house. I'd probably get kicked out of this apartment if I did that. Because it's illegal where I am. Yeah, Jared says, if the government wants you to take it, it has to be serious. It's going to be life or death. And turn everybody into robots. Vaccines have made people autistic and worse, and have created neural problems. You know it affects the brain because so many people's brains have been messed up. So normal vaccines that people take for like influenza and things like that, they screw people's brains up. So you know that whatever's in the vaccine does travel to the brain, and that's a huge thing, you know. New Type says, Andy Kaufman has blown my mind. Definitely check him out if you haven't. Yeah, and him and Richie from Boston and him do like a weekly show or a bi-weekly show or whatever where people can ask him questions. And I think it's really great. I also found a video where Richie from Boston was talking about targeting, and he was talking about radar, and he was talking about like the little balls they create. You know, they create little balls of electromagnetic frequency energy that can actually surveil and hurt targeted individuals. So he's like talking all about targeting. Karen Rose says, Dr. Andrew Kaufman has his own YouTube channel and goes on many YouTube channels answering viewers' questions. Yeah. He's a really good, he lost his job. He lost everything for doing what he's doing. Yeah, Arachno Nixon says, think how bad it is today. Now think 5 to 10 years from now. Buy land immediately. Yeah, we know what's coming. We know it's going to be bad. So now what do we do? And for me, it's like I gotta hope in this UN thing. We've got to de-intensify what's happening to us. We've got to quicken this technology coming to the surface so that these programs can fade. And I don't know how that's going to happen. That's very complicated, but we can quicken it. We can quicken it, you know. And I think we, you know, I think we should interact with the UN. I really don't think they are just gathering information on us to hurt us more. Niels Melzer, like I said, there's people that are compartmentalized in very nefarious organizations that aren't a part of. They're in their own little compartment, and they really are trying to bring justice, right? So that does happen. Yeah. Joseph Wade Paulson says, they want to track all the bad guys, and the only way is to track all of us. Yeah. They're practicing with us. They're practicing in what lower down in the pyramidal structure when they pick a targeted individual, what they're saying is this person is riffraff. This person is riffraff. They're expendable. They've been on drugs. Hold on 1 second, guys. No, it's not over, Karen. I think I got it. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Okay, good, we're good. Yeah, my attackers muted my mic while I was talking. It had to have been my attackers. So, man, I deal with this like every time. It gets, I don't care about it right now. I'm good right now. I feel even. Like, I feel like, because in this moment, like, if I wasn't taking the Neurontin, in this moment, my attackers, because they did that, they would remote neural manipulate like this frustrated, anxious feeling that's not even for me, and I'd be like, it's annoying and stuff like that, and they keep doing that through the live stream. But right now, it's like, I don't care, whatever, keep going. Flat Earth Space Agency says it was the Klingons. The Klingons are always causing trouble. The Klingons are always causing trouble all over space. Yeah, New Type says they F with every part of our lives. We're used to it. Yeah, and that's the bad thing. That's the bad thing. It's like at the beginning, everything they did, I was like, man, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to fix it, blah, blah, blah. But then you get so tired at the end that you're just like, you're living in it. You're normalizing it. Oh, they're going to screw with my computer. Oh, they're putting thoughts into my head. Oh, they're giving me feelings. Oh, they're making me super depressed. And it's just like this. I told my psychiatrist, I said, I have got some learned helplessness. Like, I came in here to talk to a new psychiatrist, and I'm very anxious. And I'm like, is it even worth it to talk to you? Because it's like this learned helplessness. You're going up against these concrete walls all the time, and then you're just sitting and they're killing you and just running your mind. I mean, I have to say mind rape. It's worse than that. It's worse than mind rape. It's like rewiring the mind. Like, mine's very bad. And I don't know why My attackers are very sophisticated in what they're doing. They've learned. It's, the people on this are that literally are psychopaths who are like, they think they're doing something scientific. We're learning about his personality. We're learning what he likes and dislikes. We're learning about what makes him strong, what lights up in his brain whenever he's like doing something he's good at or something like that. And they learn how to interfere with that or twist it and manipulate it to be negative. I mean, very, very sophisticated brain experimentation. And it's just like it's their job. They're 24 hours a day, all this weird stuff. SHP says, this is crazy. I'm going to film this stupid chopper stalking. Yeah, film everything. Film everything unless it bothers you, unless it's like you film everything and it's making you anxious. Like if that empowers you and you're like, I'm getting evidence, blah, 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 because it is evidence. But if it empowers you, keep doing it. Get any kind of evidence. I may start getting some. I've been stalked by EMS, fire trucks, city police, security guard things, one light security guard trucks, sheriff's department the most, and then bunches of one light cars, and they're usually SUVs. They're usually black SUVs. And then there's like immigration services near me, near my apartment, and there's like this DHS car that stays there. It's a black, has the license plate DHS, and it will just follow me. Like I'll come out. I want to get that on tape. I want to get the DHS vehicle. And what I also really want to do, guys. Hey, Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty says, I really do believe that a lot of it's AI. Yeah, me too. Me too. Just in my case, it's like a lot of automated stuff. But with some of the things they do, it's human operators. Like the thing they did with my psychiatrist, stimulating my vagus nerve that night, to then at that exact moment, it was people doing that. So they do a little bit, but a lot, like let's say 80% is automated, and then 20% of the stuff they're doing to me is my hive mind team. But I know some targeted individuals may have 100% AI automated, and they hear me and they're like, Kyle's getting tricked. He thinks some human operators are on there. But I think the reason that's done for me is they do brain to computer interface. It's a big part of my protocol of them taking their brain waves, putting it through a machine, and it matches my brain waves, so I can smell what they smell, feel what they feel. And usually they feel like it's like a dead feeling. It's like a there's no energy. It's like because they're killers, it's just flat. These people feel nothing about what they're doing. It's just like they're empty vessels, but they don't do that all the time. They'll do it some nights, and it's like I can tell it's how they are feeling, and they feel like nothing. They feel nothing. Okay, so we got the sound back. Let's show something. Okay, I might have to change the name of this live stream. I guess we can get to that. We can get to that document towards the end. But I put that the live stream was about that that document. So maybe I'll change that. Let's do this, and then we'll get to the document. Am I completely frozen up? Yeah. Tanya says they're dead inside, rotten perps. Yes. They're just cold. It's cold. It's a cold feeling. Like they don't care. They don't have empathy for people. They don't have high frequency. And we need to really start talking about high frequency, the pineal gland connecting to divine frequencies that science doesn't even know about, right? Because our Creator made us to where we can connect with Him. He made things in our body. He made other things that really we don't need our body to connect. Jerusha McBear says, do any of you have staged things headpiece with your phone, like super strange, weird word suggestions, things that are negative and horrible things? Not with my phone. I get that with V2K, where they're always putting me down. They're always calling me. They call me, terrorist, and they say I'm crazy. Is it frozen up? guys? Can y'all see me? They're starting to freeze it up. So I better go through. I want to show y'all what's on this video, and then I want to show y'all the document that I definitely want y'all to save as evidence, because it's Niels Melzer speaking at the Human Rights Council, and he talks about neuro-weapons in the documentation. But I want to show y'all this first. So I want to show y'all this doctor. He is a chiropractor. The vaccine doctor. They're freezing me up, guys. Sleeping Beauty says, are the black helicopters military? Are there any other agencies or people that could have black helicopters? I think the FBI does. Sleeping Beauty. I think the FBI has black helicopters. The CIA has black helicopters. But I think with us, it's probably FBI. It's probably InfraGard with the black helicopters. They're harassing us with the black helicopters. They'll actually do put sheriff's department helicopters in state police. It's a good bet that the black helicopter's doing that to your FBI. Okay, hold on. Am I frozen up? Yeah, Jared Ritter says black coppers are. I don't know, Sleeping Beauty, maybe not, but that's what I would think, because the InfraGard uses black helicopters, and it seems like they're involved in our harassment. FBI definitely has black helicopters, because I called the FBI. I called the FBI a bunch of times when I lived in that house, and right after I called them like about 5 times, I started having black helicopters everywhere, like 3 black helicopters when I'd go get fast food and stuff like that. So they said they were investigating my case, and they told me that they couldn't tell me anything about it. And I think they were just playing around with me. But then they actually started harassing me with the black helicopters, because the FBI is not really on our side. Okay, this is just frozen up. True Serum says, Kyle, do you have any input on cloaking? I know it exists, brother. I know it exists, and I know that it's light refraction technology. It's basically they have things that they wear that reflect light, and it's really advanced. I know targeted individuals get people breaking into their homes with people with cloaking, but I don't have the people with cloaking doing anything to me. But it's very, very real. It's very real. I heard a story by I can't remember the channel's name, but he was like having a breakdown from the targeting. Like it was just, they were just messing with his mind. Can y'all see this? What's going on here? I really want to get to that. Okay. I guess y'all can see it. And I guess I'm just going to have to. They can just screw around with my StreamYard. They can completely, and they don't care. We're going to add this to the stream. So I guess I'm going to have to find it here. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Here we go. I have to battle with my attackers every live stream.
From the network.
Here we go.
In us by using your thoughts. So check this out. She gets in there talking about, now if this gets injected in you, and some idiot behind a computer, which I spoke about, can connect the computer system, and this is where I spoke about 5G connecting, because 5G is going to connect to that stuff in your body, and this guy behind the computer is going to be able to see what you're doing, what's going on, and what's happening with you.
You see that?
Your thoughts.
Yeah. You see that?
Just something that you think about, they're going to be able to track that. That's a scary thought.
But let's go back on this.
That's all going to be delivered through an artificial intelligence through the human brain, which tells me this gets through the blood-brain barrier.
Goes through the blood-brain barrier,
Our
right?
bodies, and again, with
there's
sticker,
already
microneedling.
There's already nanotechnology that goes through the blood-brain barrier. Brian too talks about it a lot, and like I try and talk about it as much as I can. But that the vaccine is going to contain something that goes through the blood-brain barrier. Where DARPA has this, what's it called, the gel that will be part of the tattoo that can then go through the blood-brain barrier to neural networks on the brain. They're trying to get stuff into people's bodies saying, oh, it's just a vaccine, or it's just this, or it's just that, but it's doing other things. And they've been doing it before the pandemic with chemtrails in our food, in our water, but now they're trying to step it up because they want more intense control of the brain and the nervous system. That being only one angle to what they want to do with some of this stuff.
In the humans at a genetic level. And that's Gates again talking. And shoot, he was talking about that back in 2015 and 17 on TED TV. This stuff is real, folks. This is not conspiracy. This is not maybe. Look up these companies I'm mentioning to you in this video here. Please get awake at the switch is all I got to say. God almighty, we can help maybe change this and stop this if we stick together. And again, I'll say it lately all the time. I don't care if you're black, white, orange, polka dot, or purple.
This is the hopeful thing, though, guys. This is a time where darkness is evolving. The New World Order is getting stronger, but that means there's an awakening. They're trying to stop an awakening. They're trying to stop this stronger connection and this awakening of good human beings to be connected to something higher. They're trying to stop that to destroy humanity. So it's a time where we can awaken. Like, especially if you're targeted in the darkness, you resist this stuff, you can become a lot stronger. Find ways to cleanse the pineal gland, ways to connect with God. There's an awakening happening, and we can awaken other people. You remember what I was saying about the army of the dead earlier? For those of you who weren't there, in the Return of the King in Lord of the Rings, he has to go and he finds that army of like traitors and criminals and stuff, and they have died and they're trapped in this place, and he releases them, and then they help the good guys win the war against Mordor. All these good people who are just doing their jobs, right? We need to awaken some of them to what they're participating in. And I know to a lot of you guys it's distasteful. You don't have to do it. You can just put out information and you don't have to deal with those people. But some of us have to try and awaken some good people who are compartmentalized, and they can help us more in the system, being in the system. You know, that's gonna and that's gonna have to be a bunch of people. And they're already being awakened. But I think it's a time. The balance here, because there is balance in life. The ironic balance is this is a time of darkness, but it's also a time of a spiritual awakening, where magnificent, high resonance miracles and helping each other can happen too. And we got to see that part of it also.
It means nothing. We're all children of God, and if we don't wake up and see that, we're gonna have a problem. We need to stick together in this. Educate each other. Be there for each other. God Almighty. 2012, DARPA formed a network in us by using your thoughts. So check this out. She gets in there talking about now, if this gets injected in you, and some idiot behind a computer, which I spoke about, can connect the computer system, and this is where I spoke about 5G connecting, because 5G is going to connect to that stuff in your body. And this guy behind the computer is going to be able to see what you're doing, what's going on, and what's happening with you.
See through your
eyes. Thoughts, just something that you think about, they're going to be able to track that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thought. That's all going to be delivered through an artificial intelligence through the human brain, which tells me this gets through the blood-brain barrier, which means it's going to have other things in it, like the vaccines do, how aluminum and the mercury get in the brain by these activants like polysorbate 80 allows that to penetrate through the blood-brain barrier, getting into your brain and slows the brain. which another bunch of MDs on Twitter and nurses mocked the living crap out of me, told me I was out of my mind. Now totally ludicrous that that's called a neurotoxin, and they're trying to tell me that it's not, and it doesn't inflame the brain. You better get back into your medical books and look at it. Get educated. God Almighty. Like,
and also something that I want to throw in there.
It really upsets me. It just does. And they're using the children and these vaccines.
Like with our targeting, and Robert Duncan talks about it, the best way or the strongest signals they can send to our brain is when our brain is inflamed. When our brain is like flared up and the brain tissue's expanded, your V2K will be louder. The signals that you're receiving, your inner voice thoughts, visuals, EEG feelings, your brain's going to receive those signals a lot easier when your brain's inflamed. So if you notice it, I noticed this, like when my targeting's really, really bad, the V2K is really bad, it'll feel like my brain's trying to push out of my head. Like it's just this like this heavy feeling in my head, like heavy and pressing in my brain and sore, and that's when the targeting is really bad, because they're heating up the brain to do all of these things, really injuring the brain to do it.
Oh man, it's going to be connected. They're going to have a brain machine interface that's going to use and connect to your brain.
Hey, Ann says 371 million for Air Force Space Rapid capabilities in Kirtland, New Mexico. Threefold increase from 2018. 15 million to upgrade White Sands laser and microwave testing infrastructure. Yeah, they're moving forward with this stuff. Ann Ritchie says 484 million for directed energy activities nationally, most of it for Air Force efforts, particularly in New Mexico, to advance laser and microwave systems. Yeah, and those are just the projects that they're telling the public about. There are a lot of black project things that the public never knows about, which they funnel hundreds of billions of dollars into. New Type says, I think carbonyl iron is a coating you can use to coat the walls of our enclosures to protect from EMF, and not a supplement to take internally. Carbonyl iron. Eric says, why is Seattle such a hotbed for this? I think that Portland and all the places in Seattle are such a hotbed for this because if you heard Brian Coffin talk about it, they have towers that are set up to send out broadband signals to make people angry, to put EEGs of anger, to put EEGs of fear over the city. So I think we're seeing a lot more mind control activity and riots there. Yeah, I've heard about that, True Serum. True Serum says, hey, Kyle, I swear I've seen holograms of vehicles. I noticed a mild glitch. Yeah, one of my friends in Canada has seen fire trucks that weren't really there. And I think that what it is it's some kind of manipulation of your visual cortex. It's a manipulation of putting a visual that your eyes are seeing that aren't there. I don't think it's an actual hologram put into the place. I think it's actually a manipulation of your visual cortex. Ann says, hello, Tanya, and thank you, Kyle, for all your hard work. Thank you, Ann. I've still got to read that email you sent me. I totally forgot. It's hard to remember anything when I'm being targeted. Alan says 2 nights ago while sleeping, they sent an electric jolt in my leg, and I kicked my table and coffee over again. Yeah, they can, when I'm sleeping, they can vibrate it. They can vibrate me, and then they can make it sound like somebody's walking in my apartment. And then they can also remote neural manipulate this feeling like there's somebody at the door, at this door, like a possessed demonic person or something. I mean, I know it's not there, right? I'm like, there's no possessed demonic person at my door, but it gives me this feeling of it, this physical feeling that someone's there, and they do it through the brain. Oh man, I hate these. These little things pop up. Okay, let's keep playing. Playing a little bit more of this.
Brain and your body and your cells inside your body. So it just so happens that DARPA also makes and manufactures the hydrogels that we were talking about earlier that she mentions. That could be put into a syringe or to the band needling through nanotechnology going into your blood. And that stuff grows. It gets injected under the skin for monitoring. Dr. Andrew Wakefield and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., wow. All the work that they've been doing, all the hard work has now come down to a massive, massive win as of today. Okay, so what is everybody going to say now about these vaccines? So I want to read off a little bit about where this came from and what it has to say in a big win on vaccinations. What are we going to do now in this country with all these laws?
Hey, thank you too, Alan. Thank you for putting great comments in.
You know, Donald Trump just mentioned the other day how he wanted to fight now to change for the right of the American people to choose their health care.
Let me see if I can pause this. I'll just retime this comment because my computer's frozen up.
Mark Anthony Boyer. Government funding was pulled from
Tanya says yes, they wanted everyone in the cities to mind control and kill everyone. Yeah, you guys look up Operation Crimson Mist.
Huge.
Let me see if I can get this to work.
Lost a vaccine lawsuit. Big lawsuit. Lost. United States. Vaccine injury lawyer Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Del Bigtree, producer of the suppressed vaccine documentary Vax, which I sponsored here. I was one of the main sponsors here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I can't thank, so many people that were involved. Tia Savino did such a great job putting that together in the theaters and getting it out there and making it known what's going on with these vaccines and all these damaged children, especially against the Gardasil vaccine and all the garbage that's in that. So I mentioned Del Bigtree, and then of course you can't forget Dr. Andrew Wakefield and all that. Vax and the Informed Consent Action Network, ICANN, are credited with this victory. Okay, and there's a link here I will post later with this here.
I got one more really important thing to show you guys.
Documents providing.
Hang with me for a second.
Proving that all federally approved vaccines have been.
That pause. Okay. Flat Earth Space Agency says my friend did like over 5 tours and his whole crew got killed. He was very traumatized by that. Yeah, and they're hitting so many vets. I saw that Truth Serum says he's a vet. I think they may actually inject you guys with nanotechnology
for quality over the past
when you sign up. Like when you go through all the stuff.
And there were none, zero, zilch, nada, no proof showing that these were safe at all. They lost that battle. That means all these years that have been fought for, and everybody's been, all doctors like me and all these other docs, good docs that sharing the good word about how dangerous these vaccines. Again, I will say it all the time. I'm not anti-vax. I'm anti-stupidity. I've been saying it for years. Okay? Dr. Buttar was saying it the other day. He's not anti-vax. He's anti-stupidity. Again, because you got to put on the thinking cap here, folks, of what's in this garbage. Finally, approve this stuff here. Here are the huge legal and practical implications in this victory for the American people. This means that United States Department of Health and Human Services and all vaccine makers have been deceiving the American people for over 30 years about the effectiveness and safety of vaccines. This may ultimately mean that continuing existence, at least in their current form, of 5 U.S. healthcare agencies is now in doubt. The CDC, the FDA, the IOM, the NIH, and the health part of DHHS itself. Gump, understand that Dr. Fauci and Gates Foundation have been trying to get Congress to pass a law that all American citizens must take their vaccines before being able to fly.
And then we've got Donald Trump saying he's going to get the military to do it in a powerful way.
That kind of stuff is looking to come and to get passed.
I think it's going to be, like the masks. I think they're going to start out and they're going to be like, please wear a mask. It's, they're going to say, please take your vaccine. It's for everyone. They're going to see who doesn't take it. They're going to collect that data on people who don't want to take it. Then they're going to start saying, well, you know, if you want to come into this shop, you've got to wear a mask. I think before that, they're going to say if you want to travel on an airplane, you definitely have to get the vaccine and some kind of ID. But then they're going to say if you want to go into stores or anything like that, certain stores, you have to have the vaccine in an ID. And then they're going to say you can't, you can't go cross state lines without having a vaccine. And then then the question is, if you don't take the vaccine, can you even do anything in your city? Can you go outside? You know, it's going to be really bad. My attackers are just like freezing up my StreamYard. Give me a second, guys. Sleeping Beauty said, you bet. I suffered anxiety attacks too before I knew I was targeted. Yeah, me too. I had anxiety in college, like a weird anxiety in college, and I think I was targeted because it didn't really fit with anything. It was in times when it wasn't logical for me to be anxious. Yeah, Flat Earth Space Agency says, yeah, the troops are vaxxed and experimented on. Alan says, government doctor finally admitted some vaccines can cause some autism. Cheryl Atkinson news show. Yeah, so many kids have gotten autism from them. Okay, let me see if I can get out of this thing, and I want to show y'all Niels Melzer's report at the Human Rights Council. And what I'll do is I'll just put in the comments, I'll put a timestamp because the title for this is actually that. Can't do anything. Page unresponsive. I guess I can just go back here. Oh man. I can't even find my StreamYard page. It says page unresponsive. Dog. they like froze up my StreamYard. Jeez. Hang around. I really have something I need to show y'all. Hang around. Hopefully this will stop. I hate this. Just have one more thing I want to show. Arachno Nixon says, Karen Rose, mine did the grinning too, but it was like a mocking, disgusted sort of sneer. It was very cartoon-like in a way, now that I think about it. Yeah. I have people that do this, Arachno Nixon, like gang stalkers, because I have pain over on my left side sometimes, and it's like jaw pain, and I'll have people and they probably don't even know what they're doing, but some gang stalkers will go, they'll do this, like they'll do this weird face, kind of making fun of me for the vagus nerve injury that my attackers are doing to me.